This episode of Nothing But Raiders podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 platform to browse, discover, and experience the best events in town, and all in the palm of your hand. From heart-pounding concerts that can make you dance to nail-biting sports games that can keep you on the edge of your seat, SeatGeek has it all. From exclusive deals and personalized recommendations tailored just for you. Use our promo code SRT and get $20 off your first purchase. So join the movement. SeatGeek. Get up, get out, and get tickets.
I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared from the standpoint of winning about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that.
Yo.
Yeah.
How you feel about that intro, brother? How you feel about that intro a little bit? A little something had to whip up this morning.
Yeah, hey, it's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. I wish I had them kind of skills, man. I wish I had them kind of skills.
Let me know what y'all think of let me know your think in the comments real quick about we gotta get a Commitment to Excellence podcast logo. Once we will get that soon. But how y'all feeling, man? Let me know what y'all think about that new intro. Do I need to play it again?
Play it again.
Do I need to play it again for y'all real quick? Because
play it again.
You know what? I'm gonna run that back, man. I'm gonna run it back because y'all, I don't know if y'all really got into it, but I'm gonna run that back. Let's go. I'm gonna play that one more time.
I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared from the standpoint of winning about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that.
Y'all better stop playing with my skills, man. Y'all gotta stop playing with my skills. I did that in less than 20 minutes. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
What up, D? You know how long it would have taken me to do that?
How long it will take you?
I would have still been doing it.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you a little trick off camera, but I'm just letting you know, like, I'm gonna tell you why off camera why it took me like 20 minutes to get that done. But what's going on, everybody? What is going on? Nothing But Raiders podcast is presented to you by Commitment to Excellence podcast, and it's presented by ShakeBack Media Group, Mr. Willie himself. I had to work a double yesterday, and I had to work a football game that this team got their ass kicked yesterday at their homecoming. So yeah.
Oh boy.
Don't mind me. But we're back with another episode. We were supposed to do this Friday night, but I had to work. But we here with it. Willie, how you feeling today, man? How you feeling?
Well, I'm kind of glad we waited to Saturday because that gives us one extra day to get over what happened this past Sunday. Other than that, I'm doing really good. I had to take my wife to the emergency room this morning because her plantar fasciitis has flared up.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, so we just got back not that long ago, but I'm rocking and rolling. Raider Nation, man, come on in here in the chat and hook up with your boys and let's get some talk. Let's get some talking going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because prayers to your wife. Hope she gets better. You know what I'm saying? Tell the sis-in-law, I said, get better so you could get on your man's case in these comments as you do.
See, you bringing up old stuff, man. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
I mean, we about to bring up old stuff about week 2 about this Buffalo game, aren't we?
Yeah. We have to. I guess we have to, don't we?
I will bring up the injury report. I will pull that up, Matthew Lincoln. Thank you so much for pulling up on the Facebook side of things. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to everybody that is going to be watching over on the YouTube channel. Real. So I know a lot of people are on the West Coast. I know the Raider Nation are on the West Coast a lot. So I know this is pretty early for y'all, but hey, we got to do what we got to do here. But before we get into anything, we want to talk about what happened Monday night real quick with Nick Chubb. It really sucks to see that happen to Nick Chubb in the way it happened. I'm still trying to like replay it to see if it was a dirty play, but I don't know if it was a dirty play or not. But for me, I think Nick Chubb's career is done. Mind you, that's the same ACL that he tore. He tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, LCL, all that at once back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
2015, 2014, one of those. And it just shattered his whole knee. He was able to come back and, do what he was able to do. But now we see it as what it is. I don't think he could come back from another one of these, man. I mean, what are your quick thoughts, man? Because I did the Panthers and Saints game Monday night. I didn't even do Steelers and Browns that Monday night. So what's your quick thoughts about that?
Yeah. First and foremost, prayers up for the young homie, man, because when I saw it live, right, and it didn't, you don't when you see it live, D, you don't expect for it to be what it is when you get all these slowed down angles, right? And I saw this one replay and I was like, yo, I don't ever have to see that again. Because the way, look, God doesn't make he doesn't make our body parts to go certain ways for a reason. And that injury for Nick Chubb was one of those reasons. He's 28 years old, I want to say. And like you said, he suffered this when he was at Georgia. You think about the running backs, that's another story for the day, but you think about the running backs that they had at Georgia in and around that time. But he was a Heisman Trophy candidate when that happened to him the first time. And for it to be the same exact knee, yeah, I these things, man, these football players, and we know them as such, but they're warriors, but they're people first. They got families, man, and they got kids and livelihoods that they got to continue. Nick Chubb doesn't seem like the type, and just from doing the show with my girl Rachel Hill, her in a huddle up in Cleveland, he's not the type, he doesn't seem like the type that would have blown his money. He seems to be okay financially, but I don't think he's coming back either. And when I say coming back, D, I mean it in this way. Nick Chubb, when we see people, great players like Nick Chubb and Aaron Rodgers and Isaiah Thomas and Dan Marino and Kobe Bryant and everybody that has suffered or sustained this injury, they don't want to come back and not be 100% of who they were, that made them what they were in terms of them being great or elite or whatever the case may be. Even Kevin Durant has not come back to the Kevin Durant that we've seen him from that injury. And then of course that's a different sport. And Nick Chubb plays running back. Okay, he plays running back, and his cutting ability and all of that is critical to his success. So I when I say I don't see him coming back, if he comes back and plays, he will not be the same Nick Chubb that he's been. And to answer your question about the play and whether or not it was a dirty play, I absolutely believe 100% with all equivocations that it was not a dirty play. When you look at what defensive players are taught, particularly DBs, when you have a running back with tree trunk type legs coming at you and you're smaller than they are, you're taught to what? Take their legs out. So he was only doing he being Minkah Fitzpatrick was only doing what he's been taught to do his entire life. So I absolutely believe that it was not a dirty play. And for those out there that have criticized him for that, they don't know.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And we're not going to spend too much time on it because I know we got to get through the Buffalo Bills, because, we do our podcast on a Friday, right? Or a Saturday. So we don't really get a chance during the week to actually recap like the way we do. So I really appreciate everybody, sticking around with us because we do our show at the end of the week and we go straight into our following preview. From the Brownstown, that Chubb's knee injury was something that brought back bad Monday Night Football memories of Lawrence Tarrant flagging the training staff after tackling Joe Theismann and his leg shattering. I definitely remember that as well.
And let me shout George out, man, because George is in Cleveland. He's a sports personality in Cleveland. And he has been a 1,000,000% supporter of mine and Rachel since we started doing this. I'm really glad to have him on here. George, man, you are thebomb.com. And thank you for waking up with us this morning and joining in.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody that's coming in, early in the morning, especially if you come from the West Coast, because it's 3 hours behind. What is 8 o'clock over there, if I'm not mistaken? So 8:30 over there. So,
yeah,
I really appreciate y'all coming over from the West Coast and stuff of that nature. But shout out to everybody that's in the chat. But just a gruesome injury, man. Just a gruesome injury, and like I'm gonna keep saying, justice for the running backs. Simple as that. They need to get paid too. You're just not the quarterbacks you have to protect. You have to protect your other assets as well on the other assets around your quarterback as well. But quick week two wrap up. The Buffalo Bills has Buffalo the baby Las Vegas Raiders torching us 38-10. I really thought this was going to be a better game than what I expected. Especially coming from that first drive. And that first drive was really good. And people want to blame Jimmy Garoppolo on the second drive with the halfback screen interception. I do not blame him for that. And I said this on Nothing But Raiders podcast. It was just a great play on the defense part, because if he would have got there over the defender, he probably went for 30 yards plus. If you look upfield, if you actually look at the all 22, which I looked at the all 22 film on NFL Plus that I pay, me and my 3 homies, we all share the account. So we looked at it, and that wasn't a Jimmy Garoppolo interception. Absolutely. And I think he'll bounce back this week as well. Having Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams be back for receivers. But at the end of the day, people feel like I'm wrong for saying this. And I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think that we're ready to take that next step to go up against those top 5 teams in the AFC or them top 6 teams in the AFC. I don't think we're ready. And the only reason why I say that, I feel like we just don't have the talent defensively. Now, we do have the Max Crosby. We do have some good corners and stuff of that nature, but do we have a complete defense and one star player on every level of our defense to make it seem like we could compete with the best offenses in the league? Right now, as of right now, I don't think so. Even though that Pittsburgh has a okay quarterback in Kenny Pickett and a good wide receiver in George Pickens and okay running back with Najee Harris, but it wasn't better than Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen and Kincaid and Dawson Knox. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I said a lot on Tuesday already on the Nothing But Raider podcast, and a lot of people said that, we're going to blame Jimmy G. He couldn't throw the ball down deep and stuff like that nature. but he didn't have his core guy. I mean, we didn't really have a true number 2 in that game against Buffalo. But I want to get your thoughts on the 38-10 loss.
Well, I mean, the start of the game was huge, because when you go on the road like that, particularly way across country, and then you have that early start the way that we did. And when I wait a minute now, yeah, but they actually got to the East Coast a little earlier in the week, didn't they?
They went to West Virginia.
Okay, so yeah,
so they really was in Buffalo, but they was in West Virginia,
same time zone, so they were still getting acclimated to that time change. So let me throw that part of it out there, because I actually forgot about that. But it's important and it's critical for the Raiders, and we're going to get to the narcotic that is us here in a second, but that's what they do. I mean, I thought it was great for us to get off to that fast start like that, and that is absolutely 100% needed. And I think it's just 1 or 2 bad breaks here and there that probably changed the momentum of the entire contest. So yeah, it got out of hand there at the end of the second, or into the first half, and into the beginning of the second half. I'm not mad at Jimmy G whatsoever. As a matter of fact, only time I've ever really been mad at Jimmy G is when he couldn't stay on the field. And as long as he continues to stay on the field, I think we have a really good chance at least doing something in terms of what nobody really expects us to do. I don't think that those interceptions, or at least one of those interceptions, was on him. Again, like you said, we didn't have Jacoby Myers in the game. Devontae went out with a concussion. My concern is that we got to get these tight ends more involved in this thing, man. This is what they had done in New England with the 2 tight end set with Gronk and the late Aaron Hernandez. And I said this a while back, I see what the guys are trying to do out there in terms of the upper management or the player personnel people in the coaching and the schemers in terms of what we may be trying to do. Now, is Meyer and Hooper as dynamic as Gronk and Hernandez? Absolutely not. I mean, if you remember, they used to line Aaron Hernandez up in the backfield, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking that these tight ends have got to get more involved, and you have to attack the middle of the field better with Hunter Renfrow. And it just feels like Hunter Renfrow is not their guy. It just feels like he's going to be traded at some point.
I have to beg to differ with the Hunter Renfrow thing, because when I looked at the all 22 film, he was covered.
He was okay.
He was covered, because you see it because all 22 film is the actual coach's film that coaches watch during the week to prepare for your following week. So when you look at the all 22 film for Hunter Renfrow, like we said before the season started, you got to get him in situations where he could do the wide option routes, those freestyle routes that he know that he could get open. When you put him in a situation where he has to run a particular route and he has to stick to that route, he's not going to get looked at. And that's what it looks like what I saw on the all 22 film. It wasn't those option routes that you gave a chance for Hunter Renfrow. And then my thing is this, that we went with that jet sweep with Trey Tucker. That's the only time he really touched the ball outside of that one catch that was considered an incomplete pass. And it should have been a PI any damn way. That's just another story for another time. That should have been a PI on the corner. But I just feel like with Hunter Renfrow in that situation, you got to open him up a little bit more. You got to put him in the slot, let him work across the middle, or you let him get in a wide option route for some reason that you have to get him in. The option routes are the best routes for him because he's the best slot runner in football. Simple as that. Like, I don't understand why the Raiders don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, like you said, tight ends got to get involved. You got to get Austin Hooper, and you got to get Michael Mayer. You got Michael Mayer in the second round for a reason. You got Austin Hooper as a veteran for a reason. I understand they're great blocking tight ends. I get it. But they still need to get. We still need down the seam throws. We still need that, and people forget to realize that's how Jimmy Garoppolo got successful when he was with the New England Patriots, when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. He had those tight ends that he could throw to, and Austin Hooper is he's not no bottom of the barrel tight end. He's not a top 10 tight end anymore. But is he qualified to give you 5 catches? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnson, I agree with you there. He hasn't been safe since he got hurt. But if you go look at the all 22 film on him in that game against Buffalo, he was shut down. Simple as that.
But here's my question though, D, because if he's not running the option routes that he is so proficient at running, that's a coaching thing. They're not scheming him.
Exactly. They don't know how to scheme around Hunter Renfrow. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So that's why I said it just seems like that he's not their guy, which is ridiculous because they did have some dude by the name of Wes Welker in New England. They also had a dude by the name of Julian Edelman in New England, and they also had another dude by the name of Danny Amendola in New England. So it's not like they don't know what to do with that type of receiver, because those type of receivers is how they made their money.
Or you could say to Jimmy Garoppolo that he probably have to look at other receivers besides Devontae Adams. We could make that assumption too.
I don't know, but it's frustrating is I don't know what. And I got to get that all 22 back again. I had it the first time we started this a year or so ago, and then I let it go. But I'm going to get that back this week so I can because I love breaking down film like that and going back and forth and being able to see why didn't he see this, or he did see this, but he didn't. I mean, so yeah, thank you for the reminder on that, brother.
And when I broke down that first drive for the Las Vegas Raiders for us that won that touchdown. Now we got that first touchdown. Now the offensive line running played like shit. Greg Van Roten, and I'm gonna be honest with anybody on here. If anybody's watching this right now, if you got that all 22, if I'm gonna tell you right now, Greg Van Roten got beat off the line when it snapped. He got beat off the line. Ed Oliver was already out of his stance once that ball moved. That's why he got pushed back 5 yards into the backfield. The defensive line has totally dominated the run game when it came to that. They made sure Josh Jacobs was not getting anything. So, when it comes to the Raiders, they get us high, they get us low.
Narcotic.
Yes, listen, it's narcotic. It's absolutely, but narcotic keeps us high. It only brings us down when we have the itis of eating food or we go to sleep. It's one or the other. But it does keep us high for a certain amount of time, depending on what else you drinking or smoking hookah or whatever. But at this point, it just got me on my high level in the first quarter. And then after that, I just felt like I was high and eating munchies and I was ready to go to sleep. That's how I felt in week 2. Is that how you felt? I mean, I would like to know. I mean, how you felt after that first drive.
I mean, it's a microcosm of being a Raider fan for the last 20 plus years. Since we went to the Super Bowl in 2002, that has been the thing if you're a Raider fan. I understand that's 21 years ago, and there may be some people in the chat that may not even have been alive yet, but you're talking to a couple of OGs here, and we've had to withstand a lot. And I'm going to be
at that. Unfortunately, I had to say that. I had to cut a bunch of bullshit at that.
But yeah, you threw me with that one, bro. I appreciate it.
I don't want to curse on this podcast, but I just had to say it, man. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
But here's the thing, though, D. This is the thing too, is that it has become to a point to where we almost expect it, and that's not That's not cool.
It's not cool. It's the new norm. Like when you go into a hood and you just see a bunch of killings over and over and over again. You always seeing something on the news. You always like, God damn, like is this just the norm? And that's what it's starting to be like with the Raiders. It's starting to be the norm. And I hate that the fact that it is starting to be the norm. I don't want that to be the norm. I want a change. I want a culture. I want us to have some dogs so we can freaking fight every single week. And after the interceptions, it just fell apart.
Yeah, and you mentioned you talked about Milano last episode about how great of a linebacker he is, and he simply made a great play.
Right. Yeah.
He simply made a great play. So that's how I feel about it. That's how I have felt about it. And come tomorrow night at 7:05 or whatever time it is in Dallas, when the Raiders and the Steelers kick off, I'm probably going to feel that way about it again. And we just have to keep our fingers crossed that the outcomes and the results that we are used to seeing won't happen.
I have a Raiders fan put always hard time playing Buffalo. We always have a hard time playing Buffalo. It never fails. It never fails. Well, my uncle used to be a Raiders fan, but once Davis started making stupid decisions in the early 2005, he became a 49ers fan. Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, that's like going from Steakums to a porterhouse.
That's like going like you're leaving your ex-girlfriend, you go to your new girlfriend and go back to your ex-girlfriend.
Oh, man.
I think
I've done that a time or two in my life.
That he was already a 49ers fan on a down low. He was on a DL with it. And he came and he's openly out now that he's a Raiders fan. And now he went back to being a 49ers fan, but not DL. Crazy.
You know what about that though? To me, that's and Matt, you can let us know, does your uncle, does he still live in the Bay? Or does he live in the Bay? Or has he ever lived in the Bay? Because there's somebody that lived in the Bay. You cannot ever like the Raiders if you're a Niners fan, or you can never like the Niners if you're a Raider fan. Same thing with the baseball teams. You cannot like the Giants if you're an A's fan and vice versa. So I'm interested to see if he has ever lived in the Bay or does he live in the Bay or whatnot.
That would be absolutely different for real. But you said, what happened defensively? 24-0, unanswered points. We got outscored. What happened defensively? But I can tell you what happened defensively.
Tell us.
No defensive tackles. None. Bilal Nichols is garbage. Get him out of here. We brought up the guy Rochelle, and he did what did he do? It was zero pressure on Josh Allen up the middle.
Zero.
So when that happens, do I blame the corners for having these receivers wide open? No, because if your front seven ain't getting pressure, then what the hell your corners are supposed to do? What are your linebackers supposed to do? They can't hold for too long now. Then we start getting those penalties and getting PIs and defensive holdings. But the defensive line and that front seven has to hold up their end of the bargain. Simple as that.
Especially if it's zone defense. Especially if it's zone defense and you're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. Those zones are only going to be closed or have a tighter window only for so long, because now what you're doing is you're giving an already mobile quarterback more time to make a decision on either where to put the ball or if he's going to tuck it and run.
Right.
And it's different if you're in man-to-man coverage. And I understand man-to-man coverage in terms of playing against a quarterback like Josh Allen, because a lot of times when those guys turn their heads, he's going to take off and run,
right,
whether there's pressure or not. And Jerry Tillery, who is this dude? I mean, I got Jerry Tillery hangover from what he did against the Rams last year.
Right. Agreed. Tillery was nowhere to be found on that defensive line. All we heard was Max. That's all we heard.
And then another thing too, when you have, it's like playing 1 against 5, because everybody is going to double and triple team Max Crosby, knowing that nobody else can get any penetration.
Agreed. Yes, because I mean, it goes into the next question. It goes to the next question with us. But before we get into that, he said that we used to live in the Bay Area, 510 East Bay all effing day. That's what he said. He's which is part of the Bay. Says honestly, the first half of the defense didn't do bad, but we do need to know how to wrap up and make tackles. That's true too. Because I mean, we really didn't allow really yards after the catch. It's just that we had bad angles when he tried to get a first down.
Mm-hmm.
We had bad angle tackling. But if it comes to yards after the catch, we really didn't give up a lot of yards after the catch. But like I said before, it still starts on the front line. It really starts in there. So
that's coaching.
It's coaching at the end of the day. So do we miss Chandler Jones that much that we really can't get the defensive line going?
We call that offensive. We call that offensive defense.
And I'm you know what? Stop it right there. Stop it right there, man. Stop it right there. But offensive defense. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Thank you, Menace, for sharing that link. I really do appreciate it because I will be live for Colorado and Oregon today, so that'll be interesting to watch there. So I'll be live on that channel at 3:30 for that. But I don't think we're missing Chandler Jones. I think it don't make a damn difference. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think it don't make a damn difference because, I mean, even though a lot of stuff on tape that you really didn't see last year, that what he did well, but there's a lot of tape on him last year what he didn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand he came in lighter, he reconstructed his contract, and now I don't know what's going on with him. I think he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm just gonna say something's wrong in the brain there. I don't know, but I don't think we miss him that much. I just don't think so. I mean, I think it'll still be the same result with him in there. Just my opinion.
Well, the reason why that came up is because of the fact that Max's motor is Max's motor. We understand that. But even a Ferrari will need refueling. And with Tyree being so, I guess for the lack of a better word, fresh, Bill. I mean, he is a rookie, so I guess it's not really a worse word than that. With him not being able to have that type of an impact yet, it is going to wear Max down. And then people are going to start asking questions like, well, how come Max isn't getting any pressure on the quarterback? That's what he does. Because he has to fight off 3 different dudes almost every other play. That's what I meant by that. I mean, at least Chandler Jones and his play would, at a minimum, command a certain level of respect and attention from the offensive line.
Yeah, so when it comes to Tyree Wilson, I feel like this. He's a rookie. People have to understand it's a development year for him. Do you really expect him to have that impact right then and there when coming out of week 1, knowing he missed majority of preseason, only played in 1 or 2 games of the preseason, barely practiced. I mean, he had some practice at training camp, but he was still nursing that foot surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So people got to understand, please give that man some time. That's all I'm asking. But Chris said right here, he said that McDaniels can't make adjustments and the teams already figure out how to exploit this team. You know what? That's another thing that happened in that Buffalo game. No adjustments was made defensively or offensively. It's just not McDaniels. It was definitely Patrick Graham as well. So you got to question him too. I have a question. We're the number 1 O-line in passing games. So you think Jacobs is doing it on purpose because he's not happy with his 1-year deal? Absolutely not. We just like I said last week. I said this last week. I said that the offensive line has reversed We went from a terrible passing offensive line, and we had a good run game when it comes to our offensive line. Now it was reversed. Now we have a great passing offensive line, but we're terrible as a running offensive line. I don't know what happened within the year. I don't know why we just can't be both to be a top 10 offensive line in the league in general. But yeah, I don't think it has nothing to do with Josh Jacobs there. What you think, bro?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got to think of it in terms of why would Josh Jacobs, be unhappy or be doing it on purpose when his contract is only for 1 year? It's a 1-year deal. So to insinuate that he's doing it on purpose a house divided will not stand. So he's not going to be divided against himself by doing that. I just think it's very unfortunate that the line has not been up to snuff. And then again, look at it from this standpoint, because we know how special Josh Jacobs is with being elusive and being able to always get those the yards after contact, the yak yards. He is one of the best in the NFL at that. And maybe the fact that he wasn't in training camp, OTAs, or any of that might have an effect on it early in the season. And as we see him get more acclimated to contact, then we'll start seeing the old Josh Jacobs. But we have to remember that a lot of that is Josh being Josh and the type of running back that he's always been.
Yep, simple as that. What Keith's going to say here, why we don't be playing man to man and bring the house. Let me tell you this. We need to do that. We need to do that because it sounds like Patrick Graham is going back to being Gus Bradley at some point, not blitzing at all. We're not bringing more than what they can block. If we went in and boarded a Marcus Peters, if we, have Jacorian Bennett, even though he's a rookie, he's going to learn. He's going to make his rookie mistakes, so we really can't fault him for that because that's what we expect. At the end of the day, we just need to stop being so much cover 2 and cover 3 all the time. And cover 3, that means you're 8 yards up, 8 yards back from the line of scrimmage. So 8 to 10 yards back from the line of scrimmage. So when it comes to that, I mean, if you're going to do a cover 3 blitz, use one of the linebackers. Do a stunt. You got to make the defensive line and that front seven creative for us to get to the quarterback. And that goes into why our defense cannot force any turnovers, because our front seven is not getting any pressure. Even if they do catch the ball, we're not trying to strip the ball out. We're not trying to punch it out. We're not doing any of that. I don't know if that's even being taught in practice at this point.
I mean, what you see on the field is evidence of what you see in practice. What you see in the game is evidence of what you see in practice.
Yep.
What you don't see in the game is evidence of what you don't see in practice.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why it goes right into our that question about our forcing turnovers. We want the turnovers, and when we get the turnovers, the flags happen.
Offsides, illegal contact.
It's undisciplined situations that makes us, get into situations like that. Like, for example, if anybody watched the Virginia NC State game last night, I don't know if anybody saw it, but Virginia reminded me of the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you the simple thing that happened. Number one, Virginia was down a touchdown. Then you had your quarterback he threw the touchdown, right? But he got hit. His helmet was coming off, but it didn't come all the way off. So what he did was he took it off, he stood up, and he flexed. Flag.
Taunting.
Flag. So that means where you at for your 2-point conversion to tie the game up. Now you got to move back and get that even worse. So after you do, matter of fact, no, I'm wrong. It was a different flag. I think it was, I don't know. It was unsportsmanlike conduct that made them move back from the 2-point conversion. Mm-hmm. Then with the 2-point conversion, that's when the helmet came off and he flexed. You know what he did? He did that unsportsmanlike conduct again. And what happens with that? You sue it on the kickoff, and now you get your kickoff at the 20-yard line. one of the best returners in the ACC, runs it back past the 50, and they have a chance to win the game. Then what you do is when they try to get a chance to win the game, you jump over the center to block the field goal. So that's another flag that moves you up to the 10-yard line. What does this sound like? The Las Vegas Raiders putting themselves in bad situations on why this happens. So this is a comparison between Virginia and the Las Vegas Raiders, something of that nature. So we'll try to figure out, like, we get turnovers and no flags happen. Virginia almost won this game, but the flags killed them. Undisciplined. Simple as that. It's undisciplined.
And excuse me. I am 100% convinced that this is 100% coaching. And I know what you said in the first show that we did of the season about having some continuity and some stability. Well, if Coach Graham is only there to become tenured, it's still no stability because there's nobody that's getting better. He got to go, man. He has shown us who he is. He's got to go. Now, I know Mark Davis, I said it last episode. I'm about to get heated. I need to calm down. Drink
that Simply lemonade, bro. Take a sip of that lemonade real quick because your gray hairs is coming out now. Your gray hairs is coming out. Come on, man.
Mark Davis needs to channel his inner Jerry Jones. There's got to be more urgency. And let's just be honest, man. The NFL is better when the Raiders are good.
That's a fact. That is a known fact. That is a known fact.
Oh,
so, yes, I think we covered, when it comes to, Josh Jacobs with the non-running game. I think we already covered that. 3 things that we saw that we could build building blocks moving forward. Honestly, got to get Josh Jacobs going. That's 1. 2, the defensive line. I need sacks or negative yards from this front line. So
or just pressure, just quarterback pressures.
I don't want pressures. I want negative yards.
We got to take baby steps, D.
Loss.
We got to take baby steps though. In order to get
that we made James Cook get his first 100 rushing yard game. It had no negative yards in the run game. If we didn't get no tackles for loss, yes, I need negative yards from the run game.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. I mean, but sacks, we could get those pressures, cool. But if we could get some negative yards from the opponent's running back game, instead of him averaging at least 6 yards a carry on 123 yards, yeah, that's 1. And 2, overall, the team just have to play better. They have to execute with discipline.
Yeah, 100 for sure. Now, I agree with all of those things, but I have something I'm going to bring to the table that's going to shock all of Raider Nation. Are y'all ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
Something that we saw in this game that we can build on. We only had 2 penalties for 30 yards. 2 penalties for 30 yards. That hasn't happened, and I don't know. Look, we would have 2 penalties on 1 play. Not just for the entire game, but for 1 play. That's something that can be built upon. And I will, as hard as I have been on this coaching staff since day one, because I never liked the hire to begin with.
Right.
I can say that salute to you guys for at least the Raiders not having a penalty flag party in Western New York when it came to that. Now, could it be that the referees maybe they had stick 'em on their flags, couldn't throw them?
Oh, here we go. Not to stick them on the flags. That goes crazy. That goes crazy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. But in all seriousness though, I mean, to only have 2 penalties, that is a tremendous step in the right direction. It's something that definitely can be built upon.
Absolutely, but can I pull a stat up real quick? Not even a stat, but I know about heart because this is how bad how many times I watched it. The Raiders only had 39 plays the whole game, 39 total plays. 39. Miami had 39 plays in the first half in the Sunday night game.
Yeah, can't score if you ain't on the field.
And another one that nobody talks about. The Buffalo Bills held the ball for 40 minutes in our week 2. 40 minutes. That means our defense was gassed. And that goes into this week's game that we cannot have the same. We cannot have Najee Harris and Kenny Pickett and George Pickens and those boys be on the field for 40 minutes and have 74 drives to 39 drives against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Just can't.
Yeah.
It just can't happen. But we're going to look ahead. Because I'm tired of talking about this Bills game. I'm tired. I'm ready to retire it and just move forward. Just retire it. It's stamped already. We got the L. So, hey.
Well, I think what this is one of those ones where you can actually just take the film and just kind of be like, yo, we know what it was. But D, I have something I need to show all of Raider Nation, and I think it might be synonymous with how we're feeling. So in this this portion of
oh my god.
Yeah. This is how I think Raider Nation feels after a performance like that. Here we go.
I hate the Raiders. I hate the Raiders.
John, calm down. John, they'll win the next time, John.
I hate the Raiders.
John, stop. It's gonna be okay.
That's all right. That's all right.
John, what do you want to say to the Cowboys?
I want to say that I hate the Raiders.
But what to get the Cowboys some encouragement, John, so they can win the next game.
Tell them say y'all gonna win next game. Who they play next anyway?
John, give them some encouragement. They need encouragement. John, the Cowboys need some encouragement right now.
I hate the Raiders.
John,
I hate the Raiders.
John, calm down. John, calm down.
Oh my God. Why would you, only freaking Willie, only Willie will pull some shit like that, Only you'll pull some shit like that.
I got pulled, man. I got
think that we're not real Raiders fans because of that video.
no. What it says is this, and bring the comments on, man. Bring them on because, like I said last week, I have seen just about everything that you can see from a franchise that has been in Oakland, LA, back to Oakland, and now in Vegas. And going even with things that are outside of Raider control, like the Tuck game. That was not inside of our control, but that's the kind of things that I've had to endure. And it seems as though when I moved from Oakland to Louisiana, man, that's when it got bad. That's when the curse came, except for a couple things here and there. So while that kid is crying, that is a product and the result of being a diehard Raider fan because you can feel it and it hurts. And sometimes you hate them. Sometimes you hate to love them. Sometimes you even love to hate them. But at the end of the day, man, this is a Raider Nation. Raider fans are the illest. The illest. So the Raider fans that are the illest like that, we can say whatever we want to say about our team and not jump from the Raiders to the 49ers.
Right. Don't forget the index card either. Don't forget that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that. Yeah, don't remind me. I remember doing that live. I did that play-by-play. I don't even want to talk about it. But we're just gonna look forward, man. We're just gonna look forward to the Pittsburgh game. That is so depressing as a Raiders fan. It's so depressing. My God, yo,
It was entertaining though. You gotta say it was entertaining.
it was entertaining, but it was depressing because that's how I felt inside
Mhm.
for the last 20 plus years of being a Raiders fan. You know,
But here's the therapy about it though, D. Everybody that's in the chat and everybody that's been participating and making comments, right? And everybody out there that's watching on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, Twitter. They feel
or as they say.
Oh, I say Twitter because that's my tagline. Shoot. But anyway, Twitter. I say that on all my shows. But that is how we feel and how we have felt. And you talk about earlier my gray hairs. Okay, I got them in the beard.
Yeah, you definitely pulling them out. They're getting longer by the time how long this show is going to be.
Okay, well, let's get ready and go ahead and do the hashtag look ahead so we can get up out of here.
So we definitely going to get look ahead to week 3 opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do want to pull up the injury report for this game. Injury report. Let me just see. I did have it, but I'll close it out by accident. So let me just look at the injury report for Steelers versus Raiders real quick and talk about this game because this is a primetime game. This is the Raiders home opener. On top of that, so we do have the week 3 injury report, as we can see here. As far as the Pittsburgh Steelers, as they say that Patrick Peterson, he was a full participant. This is according to Friday. Gunnar Olszewski, he's a wide receiver number 89 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is considered out. Larry Ojanobi, he was a full participant. Darnell Washington was a full participant. Isaac Samalo was a full participant. Marcus Golden was a full participant. Mika Fitzpatrick with the chest, he was a full participant, so he might be able to go. Demonte Kazi with a calf injury, he was full to go. Now for the Las Vegas Raiders, the game status for Tyree Wilson with illness is questionable, but most likely he will be back for this game. But according to yesterday, Jacorian Bennett, full participant. Devon Diablo with ribs, full participant. Marcus Epps, full participant. Jacoby Myers was a full participant with the concussion. That's good. Bum behind Bilal Nichols, hamstring and hand. Child, please. Stop that bullshit. He was limited with a hamstring and a hand. Chris Smith with an illness. The rookie, he was full participant, and Tyree Wilson was limited. So as far as right now, we'll get the updated injury report for that game. But looking ahead into Pittsburgh, Robert Spillane, is it revenge or is it redemption for him? So what you think? Will it be revenge for him or redemption? You think he'll help us out defensively, knowing he was just there last year?
I think I'm hoping it's revenge. I'm hoping it's revenge, because if it's revenge, that means he's going to be like Lawrence Taylor said, there's a bunch of wild dogs out here. That's what we want. We want it to be revenge. We want revenge. We want clean revenge, of course. I mean, he was a monster last week. He had 16 tackles against the Bills. Yeah. So we need that all over the field Spillane that made him so sought after as a free agent coming over from as a Steeler from a year ago. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a revenge game. He knows those guys. He knows the offense. I mean, the fact that he played there for as long as he did, he's got certain tendencies that he can share with the rest of the squad. And I'm telling you right now, whatever competitive advantage Patrick Graham can get, he needs to get it.
Agreed. But you know what? I can't pick one. I think it's a revenge and a redemption. I think it's a redemption because it's going to show why Robert Spillane, if Robert Spillane can be that guy to just ruin the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He knows that offense in and out. He practiced with it all 17 games last year. He knows what players' strengths and weaknesses are. And I think it'll be redemption for him. Like, okay, you didn't want to sign me back. All right, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing over here in Las Vegas. Now, when it comes to a revenge game, revenge meaning that he wants to win this game. So against his former team, he's going to want to show out. He's going to want to ball out. So for me, I think it's revenge and redemption in this situation. I think he's going to have something to prove to the Pittsburgh Steelers on why you did not re-sign me back to the football team with TJ Watt and them boys. So I think it's revenge and redemption for both of him. So 5 keys to the Raiders to steal the win. That's a good one. I like how you put that. To steal the win. Number 1, we have to get the Kenny Pickett defensively. We have to get the Kenny Pickett. We have to make him rattled. And if you looked at the game last week when they played the Cleveland Browns, they got to him very well. Stop Najee Harris from getting 5 yards to carry. Najee Harris didn't look good in Monday night either. And they coming off of kind of a short week. So we getting 2 teams off of a short week, and they just coming off a real hard division rival. So for me, I think defense just have to play better all across the board. Get pressures, be creative with stunts, be creative with our coverages, and bring Nate Hobbs on a blitz, some of that nature. But we just have to play clean football on the defense side of the ball. Number 2, we got to open up the playbook for Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit more. Got to open up the playbook. We're going to have to get these tight ends involved. These linebackers is not going to be able to cover our tight ends if we get them involved. And then on top of that, you could get them in a 5-yard curl or a 7-yard drag or something of that nature to get the ball out of his hands quickly to protect TJ Watt from coming in and getting sack after sack after sack, especially if he's going up against Colton Miller. I like our matchup there, but if he's going up against Illuminor, I do not like our matchup. So for me, I think, we got to open up the playbook. It got to be quicker throws, even though people don't like the dink and dunk. People want to see the deep ball. I get that. But the only way to get the deep ball, if you start out a lot underneath, it makes people, and when you do your double moves, it's like, okay, they went underneath, boom. Then you got them out on the outside, or you run a up and out, one or the other. But that's for me. You got to open up the playbook a little bit more and get Jimmy Garoppolo going fast and early. Number 3, offensive line, you got to open up holes for Josh Jacobs. You got to get the defensive line worn out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're going to have to get TJ Watt going upfield, knowing that he's not going to be able to go upfield against Josh Jacobs. Just keep pounding it and just try to fire off the ball. Is continuity. So Josh Jacobs in this running game, we can sustain drives, and that goes into my next one, my number 5, time of possession. We got to keep the Pittsburgh Steelers offense off the field because they can strike at any time. But we've seen that Monday night against Cleveland. They have to they can strike really fast if they want to. So we'll see a George Pickens versus a Jacorian Bennett. That's gonna be a great matchup. Even though Pickens is like a 1 or 2 year player versus a rookie, that's gonna be a great matchup to see on one side. And then they don't have Deontay Johnson. He's on IR, so that's another one that we have to make sure that he's not going to be there. But they got some other receivers over there that's going to be trying to help out in that situation. But I mean, that's basically my keys for the game in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and I agree with all of those, and I'm going to add a couple more because excuse me, sorry about that, Raider Nation. I'm going to add a couple more because I think it's critical that we understand that this kid, Alex Highsmith, the strong side linebacker for the Steelers, coupled with TJ Watt, probably the best tandem in the NFL. We saw what they did against Cleveland on Monday Night Football, outside of what, of course, Minkah Fitzpatrick did. But these 2 dudes right here are going to be a handful to contend with. And it really just bleeds into what you said in terms of being able to get the holes opened up and wearing them down and making them play the run. And then the second thing I'll add is keep the penalties on the low. Now that you have shown us that you can do it with what you did against Buffalo, that is going to become the expectation. So I'm going to add those two to what you've already said.
Yeah, so I do. I mean, let me just see. I saw something I was reading the other day about the preview of the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Let me see if they have it here. So I don't know. Okay, so Steelers versus Pittsburgh week 3. Steelers to worry about. So according to justballbaby.com, I seen this not too long ago. And it said that the Steelers versus Pittsburgh game 2023 week 3, Pittsburgh Steelers to worry about. One was Najee Harris, which is established a run game Sunday night that be able to come away with a victory and have a good matchup between Najee Harris and Josh Jacobs. Unfortunately, both young running backs have struggled to get going in the start of the season, both well under 100 yards across their first 2 games. Now, Harris is an elusive running back and have to think of Kenny Pickett is going to want him going early off and often on Sunday night, but the Raiders have gashed by James Cook on Sunday, which he had 17 carries for 123 yards. We'll expect the Steelers to try to do the same inside Allegiant Stadium. 2, they said TJ Watt, which is that you really can't talk about the Steelers if you're not talking about TJ Watt. He's such a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball. He's considered one of the best defensive players in the NFL right now, and he's off to a great start in the NFL season if you look at it. He definitely leads the NFL in sacks as of right now with only 4, but we got to make sure we got to keep Jimmy Garoppolo up right at this point. And like I said, in the 5 keys, Jermaine Illuminor and Colton Miller has been out. He has been outstanding. Both of them has been good, in the off season, but it will be a test for us to go up against TJ Watt. And George Pickens is the third one that they said on justballbaby.com. I think Kenny Pickett and George Pickens have found their continuity in the last year or two. George Pickens is only 22 years old. He did have 9 catches for 163 yards so far this season. They saying that the Steelers can move the ball with efficiency on Sunday night. You have to play that big part, but I think that's the kind of like look at it. But I forgot that they have Allen Robinson as well.
Mm-hmm.
They do have Allen Robinson. That's a veteran number 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that most likely Marcus Peters will probably be on him. Love to see those 2 old guys go together. But what do you think of those 3 Steelers to worry about going into the game before we give our final predictions?
Yeah, I think for the Pickett to Pickens connection, I call it pick twice or double picks or pick squared.
The Pickens.
Yeah, we definitely got to contain that. Nate Hobbs, Jacorian, you guys are going to be on the clock. And he is a freak of nature. But all of that will be offset if we can get some pressure on Pickett, because Pickett will throw it to you. He will throw it to the other team. So yeah, that's something that I hope that, we just sit here and we talk about what we see. Patrick Graham and that defensive side of the ball on the coaching side, you guys get paid millions of dollars to see to do what we see, or do what we talk about rather. So hopefully they see that and can do what needs to be done in order to help Max Crosby get freed up. I don't know. He doesn't really blitz that much to me. But we've got to get some pressure on Pickett, because that's the only way we're going to be able to force any turnovers, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's basically our preview for this week 3 and score predictions going into it. We play Sunday night, 8:15, 8:20-ish Eastern Standard Time, which will be live on the Nothing But Radio podcast YouTube channel, and I probably will be live on the Darion Hopkins Sports Show and the Grid Network. Shout out to the Grid Network. Shout out to my family over there. Really do appreciate them. But score prediction, we in our home opener. We going up against a rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers that we really hate to the core for a long, long time now. And I really hope that the Raiders take this personally. I really need for them to take this rivalry personally. This rivalry has not been the same in a long, long time. And I need for this rivalry to get back to where it was. And I need for the Raiders to take this personally. So, Willie, who you got? Who you taking? And what's the final score Raiders in Pittsburgh in our home opener in prime time?
I think that the Raiders are going to play the most complete game that we have played all year. Third game of the season. We're still in good position in the AFC West, especially since Kansas City lost their opener. I like us to win this game, and I'm not saying that just because it's the Raiders. I think that being home for the first time all year, and Spillane being the X factor, I think we're going to come out on top. I'm giving a score of 28 Raiders, Steelers 23. 28-23.
Okay, 28-23. I had mine is a little bit similar, but I'm gonna go a little bit on a different route. If we could score, I'm gonna go with 28 points as well. If we could score 28 points, we win this game. But if this is a defensive game, we might lose this game. If it's low scoring, if it's between 14-17, it's gonna be really tough for us to win that game. But if we could score at least 20 to 28 points, we could win this game. That means we could score and go up and down the field on this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And I'm not taking nothing away from this Pittsburgh Steelers defense because I really think that they are legit. They are. But our offense is just as compatible as their defense. So it's really going to be a chess match between what Mike Tomlin does on defense and what can Josh McDaniels to counter that at the end of the day. So what adjustments he's going to take, what he's going to make, how he's going to get Hunter Renfrow involved, how he's going to figure out to get these tight ends involved. He's going to have to be so creative on his offense. Shout out to Raider Ben. Thank you, Raider Ben, for coming through, brother. I really do appreciate you, bro. I really do appreciate it 100%. But like I said before, man, Josh McDaniels got to be creative on offense against a defense that could get to a quarterback, and they have, solid linebackers. But at the end of the day, I still feel like the Raiders still win this game. I'm going to say 27-20. Raiders beat Pittsburgh.
I like it. Let's go get this win, Raider Nation. We the illest.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you, Raider Ben, for for tuning in. I know you came in late on, Bobby. We in our final predictions. You just got sub from Raider Ben to ShakeBack Media Group, so you just got that, my brother. Raider Ben is he's like me. He's no filter when it comes to Raiders. We will let the mother effers know how we feel about our Las Vegas Raiders. We keep it 100%, just no filter with how we feel about our Raiders. Sorry, I had a late show last night. Listen, I know, bro. I know. So I wish I could have, tuned in, but I was working a high school game last night. Wish them teams is a sorry ass team, man. That high school team is a sorry ass team, man. But Raider Chaos, what's up with you? What's going on? But it's 27-20 for me, and you said 28-23 for you, Willie.
Yes, sir.
Hefe, here goes the troll. Hi, troll. What's going on? Hefe, he's such a troll for all my channels. It's crazy. He's just a troll. He's just all over the place.
KC. That's what that is, Hefe.
Hefe KC, that's my guy, man. But I don't know if y'all, like I said before, you know what? I'm gonna play the intro one more time for y'all because a lot of y'all coming up in here late.
So, the intro is gonna be the outro.
Oh, the intro is gonna be the outro. See, I'm gonna play. Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy when y'all hear it, man. Raider Hefe, that is hilarious, man. But the commitment to excellence. Final thoughts. We wrapping it up the show. What are your final thoughts so far, man? Are you going to enjoy some college football today? You ready for watch some football tomorrow? So what's your final thoughts on? And what you gonna do the rest of the weekend? Because me, I have a 3-day weekend, so I don't know about you, but I have a 3-day.
Why you rubbing it in, Chief? Why you rubbing it in? Nah. Today I am going to watch Colorado and Oregon, and also SMU. Shout out to the nephew Jonathan McGill. He's a DB for SMU. You may see him in the NFL next year. I have covered that kid since he was a freshman in high school at Coppell High School. So I'll be checking that out. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We love you guys. We appreciate it. And we just going to continue to ride this thing. And ride this thing till the wheels go bald and they blow out. So that's what we do.
So Raider Chaos says 27-14 Raiders Raider Benz at 21-3. If we can really get the Las Vegas Raiders defense to only give up 3 points, I'll tell you right now, I will drink you know what? I'm gonna do this because I heard about this drink, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's called it's a Modelo in a lime Gatorade. I saw this reel.
Mm-hmm.
If the Raiders give up 3 points this whole game, I'll drink two Modelo's with the mixed Gatorade and jug that joint to the back.
Live on air next Friday.
I will see that. So the Raiders defense, you better do a damn good job. You better do a damn good job. Next Friday, when we do this show, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. Modelo and Gatorade. I'm telling you that right now. They said it's great. They said it's amazing. But I'm gonna drink 2 of them bad boys, and I ain't getting no small one. I'm getting the big can.
Big boys, tall boys.
So, Raider Chaos says bold prediction: Raiders D line doesn't give up a sack.
There ain't no bold prediction.
O-line? You mean O line?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
O-line?
Yeah. Raiders. Because I was like, if it's the Raiders
O-line doesn't give up a sack.
I was thinking if the Raiders D-line doesn't get a sack, that's not a bold prediction.
Right. Corona equals Dr. Pepper. See, y'all coming up with these mixes, man. Listen, I'm getting old. I can't do it.
Corona and what is that? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
DiZarno to Peekaboo and to keep. Okay, this is not a bartender show. This is a Raider show, but we're going to take all of those things.
Well, we are some drinkers. Us Raider fans are some drinkers.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
We drink our life away during Sunday games. We really do. We really do. But it's all good, man. Like we said before, man, we're going to go back to being on Fridays. Only time it's going to be on this time if I have to work a school game or a Friday night game of high school football. But it's not going to be a lot of that because, listen, I like my day off. I like when I get off at 3:30 and want to go home and whine and relax, and then I come and do the podcast. I don't want to be getting up this early on a Saturday. No.
Well, I'm already up this early on a Saturday, so it's all good.
Oh,
but we all good.
Grandpa, that's why you're a grandpa.
Wait a minute. I'm not that yet. Not yet. But hopefully soon.
Oh, listen.
Not
too
soon.
Existence, Pop. Come on now.
Not too soon because none of the kids are married. Our youngest is 20 years old. Our oldest is 27. So none of them are married. So we don't want no children out of wedlock.
Okay. Listen. I'm just saying. If you get up early on a Saturday, that means you're a pop. I'm just saying.
Okay. I'm pop equivalent.
Equivalent, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay,
absolutely.
I got you.
But make sure y'all follow me on all social media. As y'all know, y'all follow me on the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. Make sure y'all follow me all social media platforms at D Hopkins Show or at NBR Podcast One. You see it right there at the bottom. Willie, let them know where they can find you at, man.
At ShakeBack Media Group on Instagram, at ShakeBack Media Group on Twitter, SHKBK MEDIAGRP. Same thing for Facebook, ShakeBack Media Group, and Threads also at ShakeBack Media Group. Of course,
it's kind of like the same thing. So
yeah,
Threads is like the same thing. It's weird, but
yeah.
But
and then with the spelling for Twitter, the reason why I spell like that is because they wouldn't allow me to get all of the characters in there. They even have a character count in the freaking handle. So that's what that is. But anyway, thank you guys out there. I mean, we love you. We love you. D, you the best, man.
We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. We'll see y'all same time, same place on Fridays. Commitment to Excellent Podcast. I'm gonna try to make sure I get all these on the audio platform as well. And I am gonna break down the chop down the Pittsburgh Steelers part of the preview, and we're gonna throw it up there. If you want me to send it over to you so you can upload it to your channel too, just let me know. I'll just send it over to you. But we're out of here, y'all. Make sure y'all enjoy college football. Make sure y'all enjoy week 3 of the NFL season. We're out of here, y'all. And I got something for y'all.
Touchdown, Raiders.
There you go. So we out of here, y'all. Peace, love, and blessings. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see y'all again. We out.
I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared from the standpoint of winning about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that.